Alrighty, and I'm back. So, here we are at the beautiful Kerbin Space Center. And we are going to build our first rocket. Our first actual rocket. That is going to go on a very beautiful orbit of Kerbin. We will call it Kerbin Orbiter 1. A capsule. We definitely want a parachute. And then a couple of tricks. A couple of those. And who's got better ISP? We want a good ISP for vacuum. You look good. Kerbal done general. Okay. Now, we do this number here. Actually, before I do that number there, is that our Kerbal flight engineering system? Alrighty. And we'll add our staging. Parachute goes up top. Solid rocket booster goes beneath. Now, for some reason, because there's not a decoupler in between, this counts this as the same stage and doesn't quite like admitting that they're different parts. Not sure why, but such is life. Do I have any science thingies I can put on here? No science thingies. I require science to put science thingies on. Put my parachute on. I'll put my parachute on nice and low. If you right-click on your parachute in the vertical vehicle assembly building, or even while you're flying, you can change the minimum pressure at which the drogue can deploy, and the maximum and the minimum, or the maximum altitude at which the main chute will deploy. I actually might want to set that a teensy bit higher so that I don't smack into the water or ground. Whichever happens. Hopefully, good things happen. Okay, so the main thing that I'm focusing on here, though, is the thrust-to-weight ratio. I want to keep it about 2 or higher. Hopefully I can even send this thing to the moon. That'd be awesome. I'd be stoked about that. Although I don't think I have enough electric charge to do that, so batteries shall be needed. Copy that, set that in its own category there. 1 point. Okay, so put that underneath and add extra rockets. Alright, so that's good. And we'll do, oh, you know what? Better than this. I should space these out. Last time I did this, they overheated way too fast and blew up, and they were unhappy. So I shouldn't make them unhappy. I should make them happy. Okay, space them up some. Good. Alright, copy. Next stage. Alt-clicking, by the way, copies the parts and all connected parts that you click on. I'll drag that down. It's getting kind of low there, so that. That looks good for a first launch vehicle. I might do one more. Whoa! Hey, careful. Connect that very carefully like that. Yes. Oh yeah, that's you know what? That's a good launch stage. Get off the pad that way. Alrighty. So I have pretty much everything I need to get started here. So I really don't have much to start with. Sub-assemblies, lights. I don't even want to put a floodlight on there. You know what? Let's put a little landing floodlight on there, just in case I happen to land on a night side. And we'll make it a pretty blue. These LED floodlights are actually from they're a couple of custom parts. They're actually from a mod called Cosmos Space Station. I thought the parts for Cosmos were a bit redundant, so even though they looked really cool, especially the giant solar panel wings that spread out like, I don't know, 50 meters in either side, pretty cool and generated a ton of power. But it was just kind of excessive, so especially with the KSP Interstellar on board. So I just said forget it and got rid of it, except for the little LED lights. They don't have a ton of range, but they're very handy for docking. They're really small and unintrusive, and they're pretty good. So I think this Kerbin Orbiter is pretty good. So if we look down at the list here, it's not appropriately updating the stage mass versus total mass, as I don't have decouplers in between them. But it is giving me the overall ISP of all the boosters plus this one. If I click atmospheric stats, it shows me that total delta V. But it is appropriately showing me the thrust to weight ratio per stage. So, okay, it's not showing me the appropriate thrust to weight ratio per stage. It is, however, showing me the total thrust to weight ratio, and I have made sure that each time I've added it on, it has done this. So, hopefully, this will, not hopefully, I know it will, this will do what we need it to do. So, once we launch, it'll be a bit more clear. Go Kerbin Orbiter 1. I am limited on battery power, so I will be judicious with my SAS. Resources, SAS on. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! Oh my gosh. See why I have it low now. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. It's tipping. That's tipping. That's tipping. That's a bad thing. That's a bad thing. Why are you not exploding? You're supposed to be exploding. Oh dear. Oh dear. Bad things have done. Bad things have happened. This is not going as planned. Oh my. Oh my soul. Why are you not exploding? You're supposed to be exploding. Get off of my rocket, dang it! There we go. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, that's a terrible idea. Terrible things have happened. Oh dear. Oh dear. There's no saving it. That was not as planned. Interesting. Huh. Well, what went wrong? No solid rocket boosters, forget you. We don't even like you. Get out of here. You're bad. You're a bad influence. Alrighty then. Let's try this again without so much fail. I don't want to do the cheese maneuver yet of acquiring science from the pad, even though that is a viable tactic. And not cheating, just cheesy. Down there, and you there. And again, it is showing me appropriate amounts of delta V. Oh, quiet you. Always something. What are you doing up there? Aha! That could have been problematic. Let's get those switched. Alright, that should be a bit better. Hopefully this thing doesn't wiggle itself apart. And I can get into space. The launch! The problem was probably those girder things were bending. But here I at least have some thrust vectoring, so that's handy. I said I have some thrust vectoring. Ready, please. There we go. So, while we're flying here, I'm going to endeavor to show you KSP Engineering Redux. As we can see, it's showing me the G-forces in much more accurate clarity than my nav ball will. Oh my. Is it pulling from the top of the stack? It is. Oh, that's a problem then. That's a problem then. Yeah, this design won't work either. Darn it. Alrighty then, I guess I'll just use the old tried and true. Very well. Dump all this and go back to SRBs because we're just going to do it like I did the first time. Ready? Actually, I wonder if I can do that and not have them overheat violently. Might have to do one more split like that. We'll see. So you go there, and then you go here. Wait, which one are you? Yes, good. You go there. You go underneath. Then we do one more at the very bottom. There we go. It's about as good as I can manage here. So, the objective is to get to space. Hopefully it doesn't mess up on me like it did before. Because that was unkind. It was rude, really. Alright, to space we go. There we go, now it's not tipping over. And oh my gosh, am I going up fast. Okay, so I really can't show you the appropriate launch profile, and my stuff is overheating very fast, and oh my gosh. Okay, that's a problem. And kaboom! Okay. This doesn't overheat as quickly. It isn't overheating as quickly. This is good. And kaboom. The objective is destructive staging. The center thing overheats. Get rid of it. So I want to keep an eye on the thrust-to-weight ratio. Right now it's positive, so that's good. Even though I'm slowing down some, I still have a positive thrust-to-weight ratio. So once I slow down below my terminal velocity, I will start picking up speed again. And that was a bad idea. Now I'm carrying that extra weight. Shoot. I didn't want to do that. Get rid of that thing. There we go. Now we're making headway. Let's go ahead and pitch over to 70 degrees. Like this. And we'll take a crew report of our situation. Hopefully jettison that destructively before it runs out of fuel. These little guys like to explode violently, don't they? They have enough to get into space. Okay. Almost at 20,000. Pitch over to 45 degrees at 20,000. I did a bad thing. Darn it, I waited too long to launch that. To trigger it, rather. And it's not going to generate enough heat to get rid of it. Well, let's try this again. Sorry, guys. I may or may not cut that out. Let's try it again. These my parachute didn't deploy. That would be very embarrassing. There we go. And we are ascending rapidly. Possibly a bit too rapidly. We are above our terminal velocity currently. But get rid of that too. Get out of here. Alright, now we're good to go. We're trying to maintain a vertical ascent up to about 10,000 meters. Those side ones are going to blow off in just a second here. But I am above my... I'm above 1 thrust to weight ratio, which means I will continue to climb. I'm just going to slow down a touch. However, babushki! We are above the clouds. So, 10,000 meters, pitch over to approximately 70 degrees. Do have quite the... Oh my gosh, I can't even pitch. I'm actually going to throttle up too. Get over! Get over! Get over! 10%, hit it. Destructive staging. Works really only... It's not ideal at all. When you get decouplers, use decouplers. Try not to use destructive staging. It's a pain in the butt to manage. I should dump that when it's at 20%. 20,000 meters, pitch over to 45 degrees. Sit, hit it. Get out of here. I'm just gonna slow down my ascent a bit and save some fuel. I'll go through in detail why I like to ascend slowly. Go through all that fun stuff in a moment. But let's get Mr. Jebediah Kerman up into orbit first. Where's my... Oh man. That put me in a, actually, that's perfect. I'm going to stop ascending right there. So, I generally like to ascend kind of slow at first. The atmosphere is very thick down there and likes to resist your efforts to climb. You don't want it to resist your efforts to climb. You want to just kind of gradually accelerate up through the lower atmosphere and really start picking up speed as you get into the upper atmosphere. NASA calls it maximum Q. Calls maximum Q the point at which you experience maximum atmospheric forces. And prior to maximum Q, you don't want to overdo your throttle. After maximum Q, you can start ramping it up, but don't ramp it up too quickly until you're like in the upper atmosphere. Maneuvers are very handy to know about. Just simply click on your orbital trajectory at any point. You should see a little tiny ball right next to it. Click on it and say add maneuver. And a little display should come up. These are your... I'll pause it so I can show you in more detail. These are your 6 axes, which actually correspond to the things on the enhanced nav ball when I'm not plotting maneuver. The green ones indicate velocity and anti-velocity, respectively. The blue ones indicate normal vectors, both in and out of your orbital trajectory, and the purple ones indicate vertical, up and down from your orbital trajectory. It's handy to know that. What is my current delta V? I don't need surface anymore. Oh, plenty. Plenty. Not enough to get to the moon and back, but enough to go around Kerbin a couple times and get some science. So I'm planning this orbital maneuver. 70,000 meters is the limit of Kerbin's atmosphere. I generally like the apoapsis, the highest point of my orbital launch trajectory, to be about 90,000 meters. I'm a little higher than that, as you can see right here on the Flight Engineer. It says my apoapsis height is 94,000 meters. It's a little higher, but it's not terrible. Generally, I don't like going above maybe about 100, 105. Generally, when you're lower, when you're closer to an orbital body, accelerating and decelerating is more effective. When you're further away from an orbital body, changing direction is more effective. I'll go into later about bi-elliptic transfers and all that crazy stuff, but for now let's keep it simple. So, once I get to this point, I'll resume flight here since I have a couple seconds to discuss it. What I did was I set up a maneuver at the apoapsis, and in addition to these 6 things that you can drag and move in and out to change the velocities in those respective directions, you can also grab the central ring and move it around to the time at which you would want to start. And usually when you're following yourself, your camera moves with respect to your ship, which means that it's also moving with respect to this much slower and more gentle than it would if you were moving it with your mouse. When I begin an orbital burn of any sort, so I have this set when the periapsis swings around to be the apoapsis, it usually means that that's about the tipping point for it. So, whoop. Alright, it's a circular orbit now. I'm actually starting my burn late. What I typically prefer to do is to start any sort of maneuver burn half of the estimated burn time prior. So if the burn time was 30 seconds, I wanted to start that at T-minus 15. I started a bit late. That way it continues burning through the center of the node rather than burning up to it or starting the burn after, so that it achieves the highest level of precision with regards to what you've plotted your burn to do, and I overshot that by a bit. Normally if I had RCS, I'll be fine, I don't need to worry about that right now. If I had RCS I would back off at this point, but this actually showcases quite handily what the enhanced nav ball does. You can see here the ghosted maneuver indicator showing me which direction I need to turn to go find it. Similarly, it shows me the anti-maneuver vector here in this cyan crosshatch indicator. I think it's the same, yeah, it's the same as the anti-velocity. That's just the anti-maneuver one. Once we've completed our maneuver, click this little checkbox here, and it gets rid of the maneuver. So we're done. We can set up another one if we want, but for now, we're going to focus on science. And I'll actually collapse all this because I don't care about it right now. Actually, we're okay on electric charge. I'll actually turn off the SAS to preserve electric charge. You're going to pull out your crew report. I didn't take a crew report. Darn it. Oh well, I'll take one on the way down. EVA report of Kerbin's water. We'll take a crew report right now so that we don't forget it. In space near Kerbin. Probably should review that. It seems we're very much in space right now. The sky seems to be mostly below us. Mostly. We'll keep it. We'll review our stored data. Oh, you've already recorded your observations about the situation. Boring. Alright, so, while we are floating, we're going to try to maximize our science acquisition by acquiring science in different biomes. Various methods of recording science are governed by both situation and biome. Some instruments or methods care about biome in different situations, and others not so much. With respect to crew reports, for instance, in low orbit, they don't care about biome. But they do care about it when you're landed or flying. Conversely, EVA reports, while flying, do not care about biome, or do they? They might. I think they do. Huh. Okay. Must be flying low, not flying high. Crew reports while orbiting low do care about biome. So I'm just doing a quick little loop around Kerbin a couple times to pick up a bunch of science. Now it's hard to see beneath those clouds, and they kind of look repetitive because I'm using the low texture version because my computer gets very unhappy when I try to use the high resolution version. And we'll see if I can't pick up the shores here. EVA report. Bingo! Did it. If there's really anything else for me to snag, So I'm going to deorbit myself properly and let you see how. Really not orbiting terribly fast, but you know, we'll do it anyway. The proper method of deorbiting is not to just shove yourself as low as possible. It is actually, it's going to put me on the night side. It is actually to put yourself deep into the atmosphere and let yourself aerobrake to a stop. So say like 20,000 meters for Kerbin is nice and ideal for aerobraking. However, I'm impatient and it's really dark on that side of the planet, so I'm going to deorbit us all the way. Whee! Whee! And there we go. And then just for kicks and giggles, deploy shoots. Hopefully that'll even put us on land, which would be interesting and fun. Oh, that's at 300, right? Yeah, good. Now, just for a teensy bit more science, we're going to take an EVA report when I hit the atmosphere. In order to get high altitude EVA reports, you do need to be suborbital. Flying high is not biome specific for EVA reports. Ah, poop. Not experiencing any G's right now, yeah? Okay. Get out. Take data. Get in. Crew report. There we go. Haha! Victory is mine. Mostly. Hopefully. Kinda. Now we see the G-forces starting to rise, and that's when you don't want to get out. Generally, when you have 0 G-force, it's safe to go on EVA. When you have a lot of G-force, like it's really kind of ramping up right now, you don't want to go on EVA. Your Kerbals are going to fall off and die. Especially now that it's really kind of spiking up since I deployed the chutes. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. That's a hot tamale. If I had deadly reentry installed, I would, it would be deadly. Thankfully, though, I have emptied all of my tanks. Actually, now that I have TAC fuel balancer, I don't actually need to fire my engines to empty it. I can just jettison the fuel. So that's handy. Looks like this is going to be a water landing, despite my best efforts to try to make it land. But right near the shores. So that's handy. And for just a touch more science, once this deploys, I'll actually set this a bit higher so I can get a reasonably safe landing profile and getting an EVA report. And we are kind of safe right now, but it is going to spike once that chute opens up. So watch this. 1G, wa-boom! Yep. Alrighty, so now we're at 9.96 Gs and it is safe. Asterisk. Your report, yes. Take data. Get back in. There we go. So now I can make another crew report. Yep. Go EVA again. Take data. Get back in. Why do I do this? When you make a crew report, it's saved as a crew report. If you take it out of the command module and put it back in, it becomes data, and you can make another crew report. It's not beneficial to do it in the same situation / biome, but it is beneficial to do it in different biomes. So it is handy to note that. If you have a method of transmitting EVA reports and crew reports, you don't even need to bother. But since I don't have one on this, and I am trying to manage my command module's battery carefully, then that's not an option. So now that I'm in the water, I'll make another crew report. Apparently from Krogan's shores, not from the water. Interesting. flying over Kerbin Shores. Well, very well then. Whee! Now I'm in the water. Take surface sample from Kerbin Shores. EVA report, yes. From Kerbin Shores. That's unfortunate because the... Oh, come on. Get in. Get in. Come on, Jeb. You can do it. I believe in you, Jeb. We're going to rotate this thing around like a log. See, this is the kind of crazy crap I get into. We're already starting. I just need to rotate that hatch around to get back inside, and then recover the ship for all the science. Technically, I could recover Jeb and then the ship, but I'm lazy. Maximum efficiency, that's the motto. Come on, all the way. Just enough. Fortunately, it's not acting like a real log, being cooperative. Go, 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 go. Get in! There we go, got it. Haha! I win! Recover. And for this we get a whopping 94 science. Nice, that was better than the first time I did. To the Science Center! 9 parts for basic rocketry. 5 science. We're going to get some survivability, and we're going to get some science tech. And then with the remaining 33 science, we're going to get basic rocketry, yeah? Yes. Get some basic rocketry. Alrighty, now we can make a proper rocket that can go to the moon. Actually, we're not. I'm kidding. We're going to cheese it up. We're going to put you there. I'm going to put a science module on top. And a couple of... Oh, not those. A couple of mystery goo containers on it. And then we're gonna launch it. Just like that. This is cheese mode. This is what you get. So, right from the landing pad, observe the mystery goo, observe that mystery goo, and observe that materials bay, and take a crew report. And go on EVA, climb as high as we can. Ah, shoot. Not flying above the launch pad. Take a surface sample. Store experiments. Time acceleration while we're running, because, yeah. Poor Jeb. Alrighty. So, because I like points of reference, we'll plant a flag here. Bloop! Yay! Yay! KSC launch pad. This was only mostly pointless. I take a launch surface sample from KSC, take an EVA report from KSC. Go! Go, my Kerbally minion! Yes, I just time accelerated while running. Don't sue me. And from that we get a whopping 35 science! Not bad. Guess what? We're gonna do it again. Because I like gaming the system. Another command module Mark 1. Turn it vertical this time, because it's on the runway thingy. There we go. And launch that. You have to admit it's cheese, but hey, it gets you where you need to go. Crew report, right on the runway. Observe materials bay, right on the runway. Observe that mystery goo, and observe that mystery goo. Save that, and we get out. Runway EV report for runway. Store those. And I think... Oh no. Oh. Let's try it again. Yeah, space kraken attack. I'm going to remember to turn it off this time when it actually gets running again.